Welcome back to another episode of Legend of Coming. I got a guest today, AP.
What up?
Will JA Morant make it this season without getting in trouble? What you think about it?
Bruh. OG, first of all. OG. All right. Ja Morant got no sense because he's like the best thing player-wise in Memphis for the Grizzlies.
Right. Best player on the
And
team.
yeah, I mean, he will fuck some shit up. But what I'm saying is he got no sense because he's in the gun capital of the world. I mean, they make jokes in Memphis talking about we're gonna turn on the news tonight, see who got shot in Memphis.
Right.
All right.
They doing that now?
And yeah, they do. We're gonna see who got shot in Memphis because
just know the next day is gonna be a bunch of shootings.
There ain't a single news program in Memphis where somebody don't get shot.
Every damn day.
He is sitting on Instagram with guns and shit like that. Right. I don't care if they're pellet guns or whatever. He's like he's showing something.
I think that he owns something. It's something triggering the alcohol and the outburst. Because if you're in your right mind, hard as it is to get out of poverty and get into a position like that, people dream to be in that position. To do that shit twice.
See, that's the thing. I don't think. I mean, it may be alcohol, it may be drugs, it may be whatever, but to not appreciate the position that he's in and be purporting something in a city that got some of the worst gun crime in America.
Right.
You know, that's
it. But what it's showing, the reality of it, what this shit really showing is that, people don't really want to make it out of bad living situation like they say they do all the time. Because you watch all these motherfuckers that get financially stable, above average, where they living good and they got to worry about money, and they go out here and just do everything under the sun and try to fuck it up so they can be back broke or locked up, give it all back. That shit crazy.
Right. It just it doesn't make any sense. It's like, bruh. Be grateful for where you
yourself.
Are. See, I will say this. I made a tweet a few years back, and it said, if you can't be grateful for the things that you have, then you don't deserve them.
Exactly.
You know?
And he trying his best. Two episodes in one season of a gun. This some historic shit. This is my thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you was riding around before you got in the league with guns like that all the time, like you doing that, you wouldn't even made it to the league.
Exactly.
So we already know that you doing something. This some new shit for you.
Mm-hmm.
You doing something because you watching the rap. What it is, he watching the rappers.
All right.
He watching them in the videos holding up the guns, counting the money, looking good, and he cause he in the NBA, he feel like, okay, I ain't on the streets, so I should be able to allow to hold a gun up on social media and act like I'm in the streets. It's fun. But he don't realize that's a corporation. You sign contracts to look a certain way in the public eye. And you got little kids that's watching this shit.
They look, you, like you said, you got little kids who, even from Jordan, even all the way back to Bill Russell and shit like that,
right?
Looking up, they are saying, okay, this man can make it, I can too. So,
next
what
thing
are you? What?
Next thing they gonna say, oh, he holding up a gun, I can hold up a gun.
I know, right? And in the middle of the gun capital of the world, and I was a guest of Creighton County,
Yeah.
and I saw it written on the window in like soap or whatever, but it was like, uh, and I heard people, everybody want to call themselves Draco.
Draco.
You know, it's
So
like,
they want so
you
they
know,
name themselves the name of a gun.
exactly
Yeah.
the name of the gun, and you didn't know that gun till you start playing Call of Duty.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's the problem, man. It's like kids growing up playing Call of Duty, they get killed, then they spawn back,
right.
and they get a
But
they
in
get
the,
a
in the
they get a
game, you can
fucked
come
up.
back in real
Yeah,
life. You ain't coming
exactly.
back.
No, you ain't coming
You
back.
dead. It's over with.
Exactly. So either that makes them like targets, or they gonna mow down everybody in their place.
Right. They either gonna be the victim or the victimee. They gonna do
Exactly.
the victimize.
They will. They
I'm
will.
curious to see this year. For some reason,
Mhm.
I think he's gonna fuck. I think he's gonna just end up getting kicked out of the NBA. I'm just gonna because yeah, I'm looking at it if I was in that situation, if I would have did that that one time, how I would react after that. After I got all this bullshit on the internet and I had to go and speak to the public, and I know in the past when players done shit like that in the past, they kicked them out the league.
Right.
So I would have been like, oh, I ain't never doing no ignorant shit like that no more. For him to do it again
twice,
but this time it still was stupid because he knew he was riding in the car. He know his friend on live, so it's still the same thing.
Yeah.
So if you want, you could run around the room and do backflips with that motherfucker with as long as you ain't recording it.
Bruh, what I'm saying is, there was a story a while back where a dude went on Facebook Live, doused himself with gasoline, lit himself on fire, and went into Murphy's over on Madison. Okay? He was like, he was upset about his girlfriend.
Yeah.
He doused himself with gasoline on Facebook Live, set himself on fire, and ran into the store. Okay?
So what he was trying to burn up everybody?
I don't know, but at that point, he didn't give a fuck.
Right.
Okay? But that's what I'm saying is, Facebook Live, I mean, you want to call it the internet, you want to call it social media or whatever, it's like, you know, people putting shit on there.
They put
Yeah,
people
just
done
like they
killed
don't even
themselves
give
on
a
there
fuck.
and everything. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, because this is what it is.
Yeah.
With mental health going on right now,
Oh yeah.
A lot of people they live their life through the internet, and when they want attention and sympathy, they go on there. Cause this what I started noticing on TikTok. But see, JA Morant, he want to that's what he's doing. He's starving out for attention, but the wrong attention. Right. But I went on what that was TikTok, and I seen a girl. She was on there telling a story, and she was crying. And I looked and I seen it. The video went viral. I said she got about like 3 million views. So I said, let me go down through her whole profile and see if she got any more, videos with a bunch of views like this.
Right.
So I go through it. She didn't have no more video with a bunch of views like this. So then I'm looking at her page, and then I see part 2, part 3, part 4. So she basically only had those 4 parts of video where she was talking about what she done went through and how down she was and crying. So so then I said, I kept going, I strolled on. I ended up seeing about 5 profiles where people was telling stories and crying. It was mostly women crying and shit, and they got millions of views. Then you look at the rest of their shit, they ain't got nothing else. So what's going on is a lot of motherfuckers getting on there acting. Like they don't have if you trying to build a fan base on social media, they ain't even building a fan base. They just want a lot of people to look at their page.
Right.
So they'll do some tell a fake ass story about something going on in their life to get attention. Cause you got people all over the world feel sorry.
All right. Not necessarily a fake ass story, but a story that may have been true to them, whether, filtered through their lenses and whatever, and they tell it from their standpoint.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now I ain't saying everybody that do that is, fake.
Totally fake.
But
yeah.
but I feel like the genuine ones only gonna have one video. It's not gonna be no part. And I'm gonna tell you why, because I study the shit. And when you see all these different women doing the same format type of video, it let you know that they didn't watch another motherfucking video that did that. That's when I be knowing it's fake.
Right.
You can tell if it's a genuine story because you're gonna be able to. You're gonna have one time where it's on somebody's mind and they just sharing it, speaking and telling you what happened to them, whatever. When I look and I be like, oh, nah, y'all doing so. You done seen one girl on here cry. And it be the same type of formats of stories. Like, my boyfriend left me after 3 years. This is how it started. I found this out after a year. Oh, it be the same type of shit with the little sad music in the background. Oh, they had this stage like a movie. I'm telling you, I be like, God damn, that's all you can do. Okay, once you tell
that's
this
your
story,
one trick pony.
Right? What else? You ain't gonna have nothing else to do. So that's why they be making part 2, part 3. You gonna run out of parts because all you talk about is the same bullshit. Now how y'all met and it was good in the beginning, and then you found out some of y'all split. Man, everybody in the world that's human gonna be with somebody and it don't work.
Right.
So you don't have to get on the internet with this crying and shit like somebody killed you and your life over with. So, it be crazy because it's more important stories that people are going through in life than you breaking up with somebody.
Right. I mean, you've got people who are, they're dealing. I'm not saying that I'll put it this way. People talk about the no, I got one. No, shit. Oh, I got a cigarette.
I just hooked you up.
No, I appreciate it. But you got people that, all right, they talk about how alcohol is a gateway drug.
Right, that's a lie.
All right?
I think.
Weed is a gateway drug. No. You know what the gateway drug is?
Right.
Trauma.
Traumatized. Going through something.
Going through, and there ain't a motherfucker on this planet that ain't been through some trauma. Now, some worse than others. And I'll tell you this. I tend to stay away from what they call value judgments, good and bad, right, wrong. I tend to think along the lines of proactive, reactive, things like that. Because nobody's trauma, to the individual, nobody's trauma is any better or worse than anybody else's.
Yeah.
Better or worse.
Right.
That's a value judgment.
Yeah.
My daddy might have beat my ass every single day. It's not going to be the same as my mama didn't recognize me on my sweet 16.
Right.
But either way, it's a trauma.
Right. Okay. There's two different ways you're going to feel about it.
And you go to any NA, AA, whatever A group you want to go to, people that are addicted, they're going to tell you that anybody's trauma, that the addiction is not the problem. It's a symptom for what they're covering up.
Yeah.
That there's something in there that they're not dealing with.
It's accepting the fact. Because I've seen somebody that, had a drug problem for a long time.
Yep.
And one day they woke up and made the decision that they was fed up and ready to make a change. So that's what a lot of people have to understand. You can't try to force somebody that's not ready, to make the change. When they get ready and get sick and tired, then that's when they're going to make the change.
Right.
It don't matter how much you can want them to make the change on the outside. They got, it's them inside of themselves that they got to pull through. So, and this lady here, she never touched it no more in her life. And her best friend, who she used, get high with all the time, still on it to this day.
Mm.
So it's just it's the will inside of a person. Sometimes you have to you have to suffer for a while, I think. Some people might suffer for a little while and say, I'm ready for that change.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, it might take them a while, but you never count people out. You never give up,
right.
Because it's not
you never know when they're going to turn that corner.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not a time limit on if somebody's going to change their life, but if they keep fighting, eventually it will happen. You know what I'm saying?
JA Morant, he in this shit. And what was it? He got suspended for 26 games?
28 games.
28.
Only reason why he got that low amount of games because they got a player that played for Charlotte Hornets named Miles Bridges. He beat the shit out of his girlfriend out with 2 black eyes, and they suspended him for 30 games. So, 60. 60.
Damn.
So, they couldn't do...
Now, when you think about it, we're talking about a season's worth of games. We're talking about how many games? At least 100 something.
They play 82 games in the season.
Oh, okay. 82
without, if they don't make to the playoffs, it's 82.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we still doing playoffs or play-ins?
They still doing play-ins, but your play-in game don't start unless you got a record not good enough to automatically bid for a seed. So once the 82 games are with it, if you're not automatically with a high seed, then you'll start in the play-in, and then that'll be a free extra game. But just the basic season that they banned for is the first, starting with game 1, the first 28 games.
See, that sounds like what my foster dad used to say when they had the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
And then they had the NIT.
Yeah.
He said NIT stood for not in tournament.
Right. Right. And then another thing why it's gonna be hard and why I think Ja gonna fuck up. And see, when he got in trouble the first time, the NBA is ran like an old slave plantation. It's just what it is. So when he did that the first time, they was like, shit, we ain't gonna lose all this money. Yeah. Let him go on back out there.
We got a good.
They didn't even suspend him. They played like he was on a vacation and talking with the team, and then a free game he back. So he took that like a baby, like a child. If you be like,
I can get away with it once.
You watch this child go in the refrigerator and get a juice after you already gave him the juice and told him no. And then you just be like, don't get another one. Then he's like, he go get another one. You tell him, don't get another. He just see you talking. He gonna keep stealing juices. So that's how Ja felt. They treat him like a parent instead of like an organization. And then, then the playoffs was about to start too.
He's still making them money.
Right. He like one of the faces of the NBA. So he make a lot of money with them.
Bruh, we got buildings out here that have like murals of him.
Painted.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? Right over there off Poplar.
Right. So that's why, like, now this time here, they set an example.
And they still can't win more than the first.
But this gonna be it's gonna be worse than how when he got suspended last season, because this is the beginning of the season. So the Grizzlies gonna start without him, without being able to get in the flow versus losing him.
Right.
So they might start out the season horrible just because he ain't there. And then by the time he come back, they got to try to gel together. But they played good without him, but it was after they played so many games with him.
Then he got injured.
And then, so it's different starting it off, so.
And I heard somebody talk about, going up for the layup and everything, getting injured and shit like that.
Yeah.
He doing too much.
Yeah, he's jumping too much. Look at Derrick Rose. They just got Derrick Rose.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's how Derrick Rose got hurt. That's how all the players that's short end up getting hurt. They're always jumping up in the air trying to dunk on the motherfucker. Yeah. They too skinny, they frail, they bones. And if he don't stop doing that, he'll fuck around and tear his ACL and shit up.
Oh, yeah.
If he notice his ankle and he fucking up his leg a little bit throughout the season, like lingering and coming back off and on. So he gotta put his game to the ground versus being high up, you know, to make.
Yeah, all right. I will tell you
Yeah.
this. My man, me and my man Mark Usher used to play NBA Live 2007
Yeah.
all the time.
Throwback
And
time.
every single time he would play LA Lakers and I would play the Phoenix Suns. You know why?
Why?
Because we had Boris Diaw,
Yeah.
Damon Stoudemire,
Oh,
Steve
yeah, the good
Nash,
old school team.
Steve Nash. And it was like he'd get pissed off because I'd be using Steve Nash to do the no-look passes and the three-pointers and stuff like that. And he's like, man, all you got is Nash. All you got is Nash. But when we got to halftime, all 5 of my starters were in double digits.
Right.
And the only person he had was Kobe.
Right.
You know, that was it.
Right.
And I was like, come on, man.
But
Come on, man.
He got a little miniature Steve Nash. He all around player.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why the Grizzlies is real, real good, even when he's not on the court.
Right.
But I'm gonna get off of Ja. I'm gonna switch it over here to
Go ahead.
Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan been in the news lately. I did an episode about him, I think, last week about him and his son.
Mm-hmm.
And he don't, you know his son fucking on
Scottie Pippen's wife.
Scottie Pippen's wife.
I just listened to that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jordan's enemy. That's crazy. But you wouldn't have thought when we was watching them play back then.
No, they were tight as ice water.
Yeah, but they were saying they weren't never tight. I guess they did that on the court.
Mm-hmm.
They said, okay, they said like Pippen to Jordan. Jordan kind of treated Pippen like a bitch in so many words. Like in the locker room, off camera and shit like that. And I don't really think he was trying to treat him like. I think he was just, that was Jordan's way of getting the best out of you, was being aggressive. Right. Not disrespecting you, really, just like pushing you and, trying to bring that all out, get you mad and hungry.
You know what I got? And he's saying, I'm putting up these points. Where you at?
Right. What you gonna do? What part you gonna play?
Right.
So,
so I can see, all right, I'll put it this way. I can see how Jordan would have a problem with his son getting involved with Scottie Pippen's wife. I mean, aside from the obvious, that's Scottie Pippen's wife.
Yeah.
I mean, are they divorced?
I think they going. No, they not. I think they gotta finalize the divorce or something. They might be. I'm not.
They
really
got an
sure.
agreement.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can understand, just from a basic dad standpoint, why you wouldn't want him getting involved.
Why you think his reason is? I got mine. I'm gonna hear what your reason is.
What? No, I'm just saying, as a dad, I got a 26-year-old son.
Yeah. And
if I had somebody that, regardless of what I may have said about him later, we were supposedly, like cool. We was people.
Right.
And all of a sudden my son was going out with a woman who is not exactly divorced.
Right.
I'd be like, bruh,
so
what you trying to do?
Right. So you feel like
you setting yourself up. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. What you think he's setting himself up for?
I mean, if I was in the Scottie Pippen, like, stratosphere,
yeah,
you setting yourself up for, like, ridicule and shame and this, that, and the other.
Yeah. I think
you don't need that.
I think the only thing Jordan is tripping off of is her age. He looking at, because
you said it in that video.
Yeah.
She's 48. And he's what?
32.
32. I'm 48 years old.
Right.
You think it's going to stop me from going out with a 32-year-old.
Right. Right.
Yo, I understand it's a little different.
Yeah.
With a woman going out with that, but shit, she a cougar.
Right.
Why you fucking with her?
If you look at the lips on her, she is
fuckable.
fuckable.
No shit.
She is really fuckable. I'm trying to find it. Look. Them lips on her.
Oh, hell yeah.
Her lip at the bottom, you can just sit your dick on. You can just sit your dick right on the bottom, on top of the bottom lip.
DSL.
I'm telling you. So that's really what I think Jordan get. Cause really, if it wasn't her age, it ain't really, he don't really care, cause really he probably slick in the inside. Jordan be laughing about this shit, I'm telling you, cause he probably like, yeah, I don't like that motherfucker anyway. I'm glad you took it, bitch.
Right.
But he ain't gonna say that in front of the media, because they'll be all on the internet.
Let me ask you this. What's Jordan's marriage situation?
Oh man, I don't know. I think Jordan kind of be with himself a lot. I don't know if he got somebody. I was just gonna say,
I don't think I've ever heard of Jordan having a wife or, you know, whatever. I mean, he obviously had a wife or something because he got a kid. But I don't ever, you know, I've never heard of Jordan's wife. I mean, I know more about Robert De Niro's wife.
Yeah.
Than I know about Jordan's wife.
Yeah, he married. Matter of fact, he married to a white girl. Yvette Prieto, right. See?
All right.
They like that cream. I see that him and his son.
All right. I'm going to tell you this. There was a few years back, like...
I'll take that back. She's Italian mixed with Cuban. Yeah, she ain't 100%.
Okay, but she's still got the light skin.
Yeah, right.
And I'm going to tell you, there's a few years back, I went to lunch with a black girl.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, all right.
Trying to get some of that chocolate.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, it wasn't even like that. But she just said, we're going to go to lunch. And I was like, okay. We walked into a Captain D's. And I walked in. And all the black cooks in the back were giving me looks.
Right.
Like, I'm going to kill that motherfucker.
Right. Like, what the fuck you doing?
Yeah, fuck this motherfucker. And I asked her, I was like, what's the deal with that? I mean, I understand, you know, we're not talking, I mean, interracial, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And she was like, the thing is, if a black man gets with a blonde, beautiful white woman, black women are like, okay, he traded up, whatever.
Yeah, they do.
You know,
they do that.
He's cool.
I had a situation,
but she was like, if a black man gets with a white woman who's like short and fat and got the finger waves in her hair, the black women are like, man, you had that here.
Right.
Why you gotta go for her?
Right.
You know? It's like
they be saying, they'll tell you what they say when they see you with a white girl that got like black characteristics. Mm-hmm. They'll say you were white trash. They'll say you picked that. But if you with a white girl that have her own characteristics, then they say you're Uncle Tom. Either way, you can't win.
No, you can't win.
I remember one time, I was fucking with this black girl, and I ended up stopped fucking with her. So I was by myself. But I used to be out on Bourbon Street every other night. I would come out 12 o'clock. I'm out to 6 in the morning. And at this time, I had a little new rule. I said, man, I'm finna just mess with all the white girls for about a year or two. I ain't messing with no black girl. And I was serious. I wouldn't approach no black girls here. I just only approached white girls.
Right.
And I started getting numbers, and I got with a few of them. So it was a black girl that used to be out there every other night like I did too. I kind of knew her, but I didn't know her. Because I used to just, you see somebody in the area all the time, but y'all ain't never spoken to them, but you be like, oh, this motherfucker always be out the time, I be out. So one day she walked down the street and she looked at me, made eye contact, and she smiled and she did like kind of threw her head like telling me to come this way. So I'm like, I don't know if she calling me or is she just moving her head. So I went with my instinct and went towards her. And she turned on the little street, and I turned on the street, and she started talking to me, and she said, I've been watching you. I said, for real? I said, well, I've been seeing you, you know, but I ain't been watching you. She was like, yeah, you like them white girls, don't you? I said, why you say that? Because that's all I've been seeing you talk to when you be out here standing around. So she was observing me to the T, and I just started laughing. I was like, oh, you sure ain't laughing. I don't want to tell you that because I know you finna be mad if I say yeah. I was like, I said, I just like what like me, baby. I said, you might just be saying to me a lot of white girls that like me, and that's just might what you see at the time, you know. I said, but I like a little all flavor, you know. So and when I ended up getting with her a little bit down the road, and the first time she got mad, that's what she brought up. So, you know, that's just what it is. That's what they're gonna be like that.
It is what it is, dog.
And it's the same thing with dudes. If you're the type of man that got a natural attraction to women, that'll make another man hate on you because he don't have that same thing. I done went through this type of shit a lot because I just know how to. If I go out and dress up, I know how to stand out and just carry myself a certain way where I'm gonna get attention from some women if they out. Not every woman out, but I'm gonna get some attention.
Right.
And it's gonna be from some pretty, sexy motherfuckers. And a lot of men that can't do that on the regular, they'll have envy for you just because of that. This nigga always getting all the bitches. You know, I'm telling you how they say it. Or they'll try to go with every girl they see you go with. You know,
I will tell you this. I was engaged for about a year to a girl named Lori, and we went out one night, and we were in a bar and whatever, and at some point in the night we got like split up. No, like, you know, intentions or whatever.
Right.
But she was at the bar, and I was over on the other side of the room, and I saw this guy talking to her. And so I walked up, and I heard him kind of spitting game.
Yeah.
You know, I could tell he was spitting game.
Yeah.
Because she was fucking fine as motherfucker.
Right.
And
I
walked up. No, I walked up and I said, "Hey, baby, how you doing?" And he's like, "Who?" And I was like, "This is my fiance." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And she came back to me.
So hold on, before you walked up, what did you see before you walked up?
That he was
talking. She was sitting there listening to it.
Yeah, she was sitting there listening to it, and which I trusted her. You know, and I had every reason to trust her.
So when you said your fiance, what did he say?
He was like, "Oh, my bad."
What'd she say?
And she came up afterwards, and she was like, "You know what? That was the sexiest thing I've ever seen. Because you came up to him, you saw that he was flirting with me, and you didn't like fly off the handle. You said, 'Hey, this is my fiance. How's it going?'"
Yeah.
And she was like, that shut his ass down.
Right. But see, I'm going to tell you what she did. Let me give you a real clear perspective. Break this shit down.
Hey, hit me with a player shit.
You made her pussy wet. And this is why. She knew at that point. You didn't go off the handles, but you did show that your balls shriveled up a little bit. I'm going to tell you why. Because when you walked up, you shouldn't have had to tell him that. She was supposed to speak for y'all and represent you right then and there. This my man, you know. But she didn't do that because she was flirting and you was watching the flirt. So you was getting a little nervous, like, hold on, something might be going on and she might make a move. I got to go up and intercept this shit. You know what I'm saying? And you went up and made your presence known before it got out of hand.
Right.
That's what happened.
Right.
And that's why she was like, I liked it. I liked it. And they got women that are intentionally go out. I've seen this too. They go out with their man knowing what button they can push to get his attention, and they'll do something just to see how he gonna react. I done seen it. I done seen motherfuckers, especially out on Bourbon Street, go out knowing they got a damn fool as a man, and he ready to get 20 years for her. And she gonna go out and talk to another dude right in his face. And I done seen the nigga walk straight up, don't say nothing to her, and go be ready to knock the man's head off. And I'd be like, that's some sucker shit. A woman ain't gonna ever be able to have me like a joystick. You shouldn't be able to know.
Like the shit in that, like that.
The PS5, like the one that control that boat that went
I know, that's what I was about to say.
What happened to them? They ain't make it out. So if you letting a woman control you like a joystick, you implode. You fucked up. And guess what? The same dude that now this particular dude, he used to do this shit all the time. Mm-hmm. Every time he see her talking to somebody else, he come up with the bullshit. Mm-hmm. You know, and so I used to be just sitting back like, man, this shit crazy. I'm too real. A woman ain't gonna ever have me. Women that have control over you like that can fuck up your whole world.
Oh yeah.
And they know they can when they start realizing, let me push this button. He moved. Shit, let me push this. Damn, I got him. And they learn their power. So now if they get mad at you about something you did or say to them, they gonna just push that button on you. You don't even see it the whole time. They done map out and learn what tick you off, what you can't take, and that's all the shit they gonna do to fuck you up.
Dang.
It's a cold, like, I got stories for days. I come out another night. No, I flew in from New York to New Orleans. At that time, I was back and forth. So I flew in. I see a couple of my partners out there. I'm fresh. I got the throwback Larry Bird Boston jersey on with the hat. Got my jewelry on. We out kicking it. I'm talking to all girls this night. Black, Asian, Mexican, I don't care. As long as you pretty. So I ended up seeing this little slim, pretty white girl had on a nice dress and everything. It was fitted. And I eased up to her and started talking to her. She was smiling down, listening to everything I said, responding. They never say nothing about it. She got a man, my man out here, none of that. She never say get away. So I'm like, man. So I'm like, I'm finna have her. About a minute into it, I see a dude. He just walk up. He look, what's going on? I'm like, shit, we talking. Oh, that's me right there. So as soon as he say that in my head, I'm like, okay, cool. But she ain't never say that she got a man or none of this. And the first thing you should have been doing if this is your woman, because you seen no distress.
Right.
You don't see no argument. You see her lighting up, smiling, looking in my face. You should have been coming up being like, what's up? In her face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you coming straight to me. So I know when these situations occur that I'm dealing with a sucker. That's what I call it. I said, I'm dealing with a sucker today. So he telling me this and she's smiling. And so I'm like, okay. So I step away when he say that. And I step away maybe about 6 feet away. Just start back standing, like I'm standing. He's still standing there talking to her. And all of a sudden he look up and told me to go ahead. So now I realize at this point that he's taking me for being respectful while I'm talking as a weakness. Now I'm 6 feet away. I'm not near y'all no more. I'm back on the sidewalk where I was. She was walking this way anyway while I started talking to her. You over there talking to her. You probably be going on with your woman. He think that he got a coward on the hand there. I said, bro, you go ahead. I'm over here. I don't know what you talking about. Go ahead. This is where I'm just standing. You go ahead. So I'm standing over there. So next thing you know, I noticed that it's 2 other dudes and they looking at me. But they not close.
His boys.
One is like in the middle. He off to the right. And I'm in my spot I'm standing. And then it's another one to the left. So they basically trying to slick surround me. So just so happened it was a couple of dudes I knew was out there. And they seen it too. So as soon as I look and I'm noticing, so me and the dude, I said, we having words. I'm telling him, bro, you can just go ahead. And inside my mind, I'm saying, I hope he don't walk up on me, because if he getting in punching range,
it's over.
I ain't even finna. So I hope he just stay over there while we talking. So he ain't really coming close.
And that's the thing. Most of these motherfuckers
got
sit
guns
there. Well, all right. I'm not saying they ain't got guns, but what I'm saying is a lot of these motherfuckers, I've seen it in this shit that I'm staying in right now.
Yeah.
They will sit there and jaw jack all day long, won't throw a punch.
But talk shit all day long, right?
Yeah. And it's like,
exactly. And them same motherfuckers like that, that's who will shoot you. They not, and I don't respect them. They not killers or gangsters. They idiots and cowards. Right. They not gonna fight with their hands, but if they got a gun, they'll do all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why while I'm talking to him,
Dracos.
right? They surrounding the motherfucker. So when I noticed it, and the two dudes I done noticed it, they get up and they look at him and whatever, and then they got in the conversation of what we were saying. It was like, man, y'all just go ahead.
Just
and so at that point they went on and went about their business.
Mm-hmm.
I got so mad I was like, I might end up seeing them before the night is over because I'm gonna be out all night.
Right.
And I don't like the way the first approach was.
Mm-hmm.
I go straight. I got my gun, but they wasn't on me. I go straight to the car and get my gun and come put it in my pocket and come back around because I don't do that stupid shit these motherfuckers do. Have your shit budging and up under your arm, retarded. You want the world to know. I don't want you to know. I don't want you to know shit until it's touching you. Going inside your motherfucking orders
get touched
for fucking with me. And that's the only time I'm gonna shoot somebody. I ain't gonna shoot nobody unless they fucking with my livelihood and trying to harm me. Other than that, being wild and all this stupid shit, no, I don't do that. I'm mature.
And you know what? I heard somebody talking about these kids out here.
It's bad.
It's like they in a hurry to die.
It's 4 or 5 teenagers right now with guns in their backpack. I stop at gas stations all the time. It's bad. It's bad.
And it's like, where the fuck they getting these guns?
But you know what it is? And it's because, see, I always talk about the bad shit with my race. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to ever sugarcoat this shit. Because everybody got bad shit in different races. You got good shit. But it's going on in the black community. You don't see 4 or 5 white kids with no goddamn guns in their backpack doing that stupid shit.
No.
But you see 4 or 5 black kids, and they don't got no excuse. A lot of them don't. You know, you can say that shit.
From a good
certain
family.
Situations, yeah, you know, if you growing up and your folks ain't got no money, you stand in the worst part of town and your folks on drugs, that part is true. We do got a high percentage of kids with drug addicts for parents and they little and they just out here by themselves.
Right.
I'm excluding them. I understand why they probably wild and like that. But the ones that got parents going to work every day and they got people around, you don't have no motherfucking excuse to say, if you got a roof over your head and your mom able to feed you every day and you got Eric and go to school, man, you don't have to be out there, man. Stay your ass in the house.
You ain't banging.
Right. Even if they is, it's tough when you go down the street. That should tell you just come home.
Right.
Stay in the motherfucking house. Don't try to carry a gun and then act a fool so you can be outside. You gotta do all that to be outside. You don't need to be out there.
Right.
That's the thing.
Right.
So that's because I stopped some one day. I had been seeing them. Well, they were probably like 18, 19. I bought some weed from them a few times. And every time I pull up and get the weed, they already got the gun on the seat and all that. So one day I made my mind. I said, next time I pull up and get some weed from this motherfucker, I gotta ask them a question. But they look like some cool little dude down. But I'm like, so it was like 3 of them. I said, man, I got a question. I said, man, why y'all always have y'all guns showing? You know, every time, you know, y'all be out. And he was like, man, it's
like you ain't got nothing to worry from.
Like, man, yeah. They're like, man, it's fucked up out here, you know? Shit, man. Blah, blah, blah. Motherfuckers don't. And I was like, really? Is that bad? Cause I ride around all day too. And I don't gotta have no gun on the seat showing. Up under my arm.
Right.
I'm like, so, you know, it's the situation you put yourself in. Right. You doing some shit crazy as hell to where you got to do that all day long. You hanging around motherfuckers that you see doing that.
Bad reputation.
And they doing crazy shit. So you think that's the move.
That's the way to go.
You know what I'm saying? Now, having a gun at this time, being, you know, young, whatever age, you should have one. I ain't saying that, but you shouldn't be around toting it like that and looking and representing it like, and with the energy. You just have it in your area in case something happen out where it's called for that.
See, it's a difference between, I mean, like Chris Rock said about insurance, in case shit.
Right.
Okay? In case shit happen, you got it under the seat.
Right. Not looking for shit.
You ain't looking for shit sitting on the seat. You looking for shit. I mean, you got a guy that's going to come up and get a joint from you or something like that, a blunt or whatever. You got the gun sitting on the seat. You just asking for trouble.
Right.
You know?
That you putting out bad energy.
Exactly.
I believe in energy. Energy is a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
If you going out doing the type of shit that makes shit happen bad, or going around them type of areas all the time, you're going to run right into it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, It's called the law of conservation of energy. You can neither create nor destroy energy. And you and me got energy running through our bodies, electricity and whatnot, that ain't no different from you plugging a cord in the wall. It's the same thing. And you're finna tell me that you can't send off a vibe,
Right.
that shit don't happen.
If you can go out with no money all day long.
Oh yeah.
And everybody you see, you smile and say something positive.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll watch. Before your day is over, it's something gonna happen positive to you.
Yeah.
Might not be with just one thing.
Yep.
Something will happen positive to you. Because the whole day, no matter what you was going through, you kept a positive mind frame.
Yep.
But if you go out thinking, oh man, life like the fucked
this
up for me,
gonna
it can't
kill
get no better for me.
Yeah.
That's the way it's
Shit's
gonna happen.
catch up with you. It just is.
What you think about Trump, Donald Trump? What you think about him?
Oh man.
What you think about him?
What's his latest thing? He's coming back for 2024.
I think he's gonna win.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Because, all right, I'll say Biden didn't get elected because you had truckloads of dudes flying Joe Biden flags and, you know, treating him like he was a WWE superstar.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what you have with Trump. And I don't think he's responsible for the shit that got started under him.
No,
I think he just gave voice to it. And if you want to know the truth, and I mean, this may be an unpopular opinion.
No, talk this shit.
No, all right. Hitler, he didn't create hatred for the Jews. He tapped into the hatred that was already there. And he flamed it up. And that's how you wound up with the Holocaust and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that, I think that's the biggest legacy for Trump. He didn't start up the racism and stuff like that. Okay?
Right.
He just tapped into what was already there.
Yeah. I don't even think he tapped into racism at all. I think that Trump is just the type of person, to me, in my opinion, that speaks what is on his mind. He doesn't hide it like most people do. So,
but that's what made him. I mean, I actually saw an interview that he did on CNN or MSNBC or whatever, and he was talking about how Obama created this state in Iraq and everything like that, and that it was American interests in Iraq with the oil and stuff like that. And I was just like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. But it wasn't nothing that I hadn't already thought of.
Right.
He's just giving voice to it.
Right.
It's
stuff that a lot of people really want to say Trump says. Especially a lot of stuff that Caucasians really want to say. Trump says it for him.
Man, you picking on me because I'm white?
He's not every.
No, he don't speak for me.
Yeah, a lot, not you, but it's a lot of Caucasians that want to say things.
Oh, and
he speak. They can't say it because
you
maybe
can see
it might
him with
cost
the red
their job.
MAGA hats. And
it might, it might cost them their job. It might cost them different things. So when he said that, they like, yeah, we're behind you, goddammit. Say it again.
Yeah, he the president now. And I mean,
that's on the way back from California. I rode past. It might have been New Mexico, and I'm on the highway. They got a big old sign. I'm talking about it was made of wood, carved, and stuck in the dirt. Trump. I'm talking about huge. A big T, a big R, a big U, a big M, and a big P. I said, God damn. And I just thought to myself, he gonna win. He gonna win. See, I can respect somebody that'll say something versus not saying something, and that's how you really feel. That's why I fuck with Trump. Because he gonna say what he really feel, and he ain't gonna sugarcoat it. So that's why I feel like they're gonna stand behind him all the way to make sure this time he can get elected. That's why they coming with these charges and shit. But the thing about it, they already done announced, even if he gets about him getting these charges, that still don't stop him from being a president. So he still can run and get elected. I don't see nobody else unless somebody come out of the woodworks that's gonna win.
Right.
I don't even hear no other. I hear little names here and there, but those are people that most Americans don't even know about.
All right. Well, you're gonna have like the ebb and flow of Democrat, Republican. Okay. You have Bill Clinton. You have George Bush. You have Obama, which was out the frame different. Because now you have not just a Democratic president, but a black Democratic president.
Yeah.
First in history. Then you had Trump.
Never had one again, too.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like, you know, once the die is cast, once you have a black president, it's what's going to stop you from having it again? And how many people? I mean, I had a roommate in Illinois when Obama was president, and all he kept saying was that jig Obama, and I was just like, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
And I was just like, do you have a problem with his policies?
Yeah.
Do you have a problem with what he's trying to do with this country?
Yeah.
And, you know, he just kept going back to that.
Right.
And I was just like, okay, so your only problem with him is he's black.
Right.
You know? And you got to understand.
When the night Obama won, I walked out the house. And I still don't vote. I've never voted in my life because, and I'm going to talk about the reason why in a minute. But I walked out the house and I said, I just want to walk down the street and see people's faces. As soon as he won, I got dressed. And I walked down Bourbon and I was looking at everybody's face. They probably thought I was crazy. And I'm like, and I went in a couple of bars and you could tell the people that were not racist versus the people that were racist that particular night. Because they were looking at you like, motherfucker. God damn. I'm like, oh, they mad he won this shit. But I
as a motherfucker.
Yeah. But I mean, politics is all a game. It's all about money.
It's what I was going to say. Okay. Why do you think the aliens are visiting us now? Okay.
They visiting us now? I didn't know that.
They're shooting down UFOs and shit.
Oh shit! What? Tell me about it. I've been missing out.
It was a few weeks ago. They shot down something, and there was a news report about it not being human nature.
I think I might have seen something about it like that.
Yeah, and I'm here to tell you. Have you ever heard of a beat poet, slam poet named Saul Williams?
No.
All right. You ought to check him out because I watched a symposium with him and he said one thing that like totally changed shit for me in like a big way. He said the pyramids were built from the top down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I might have mentioned this to you, but
from the top down?
Yeah, from the top down. And
so if that's the case, men didn't really actually build it then.
I'm not saying men didn't build it. They had help.
Right.
I have said that same line to people who are Masons. Okay?
Yeah.
Like got the sticker on the back. Yeah, got the sticker on the back. And
how
I said it to this woman, Edith, and I said that to her, and she just looked at me and like smiled.
Yeah.
And she's like, humans are an experiment. Because have you ever heard of something called Valiant Thor? Valiant Thor was a man who came in and started talking back in the 40s. And you think about it, the Roswell shit happened in the 40s, right?
Yeah.
What also happened in the 40s? We about to have a movie about it.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer.
Okay.
Right? Okay? For the first time on this planet, somebody engineered something, and they didn't even know when they set that shit off
Right.
that it wasn't going to destroy the whole fucking planet.
Okay.
But they did it anyway.
Yeah.
So if you did have extraterrestrials keeping an eye on Earth, okay, either these people are going to destroy themselves or they could use it against us.
Right.
So that's where you had Roswell.
Yeah.
Shit like that. Well, around the same time, there was this guy who called himself, and he's got books, called himself Valiant Thor. And he went in front of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and also Gene Roddenberry, who Gene Roddenberry was the creator of Star Trek.
Right.
Okay. And he was like, I'm from the future. This is what's going to happen. This is this.
So he made a prediction.
Yeah. And what do you see with Star Trek? Even in the original episodes, you got communicators in the pocket.
Yeah.
What do we got in our pocket right now? Supercomputers.
Right.
Do anything. They had like face-to-face video conferencing.
Yeah.
Even across vast spaces.
Right. Different planets and shit. I remember that. Yeah.
Now, in Star Trek, they had something called the Prime Directive. Starfleet had to adhere to the Prime Directive. And the Prime Directive said that you don't interfere with the development of a society. Okay? Which informed their ideas about first contact.
Right.
First
so
contact.
You're saying that the aliens could be here watching us, but they're not going to interfere with our daily life.
Exactly. Until they see something. And in Star Trek, aliens don't interfere with a society until they develop warp technology.
Well, if they
which
watching
is faster than light travel.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, you got Elon Musk talking about making starships and shit like that. And on top of that,
and
you
put chips in our ass too.
Yeah, I know. But before that, you've got COVID. And what did COVID do? We all wear masks.
Right.
And what do masks allow you to do? They allow you to circumvent facial recognition.
Right.
And so what you guys motherfuckers doing? Wearing a mask, going in the store, stealing a whole bunch of shit and leaving.
Right.
And so what you got, because the corporations have always told us that shoplifting increases prices. That's bullshit.
Right. And
they increase the prices.
Exactly. And that's what the fuck they doing now. Everything that went up.
Exactly.
Double and triple. Even in the dollar store, and they saying it's because of theft.
Exactly. No. That's bullshit. And so what I'm saying is, we as a species are starting, we ain't there yet, but we're starting to wake up to the fact that we are slaves to the corporations. Exactly. Because presidents ain't the problem. It ain't the politics. Because they can only operate within 3 branches of the government: executive, judicial, and legislative. They have to stay in those the confines of those 3 branches.
Yeah.
But what do you got? You got corporations who are saying, if you are cool with this, then we'll, pour money into your shit.
Right. That's
now,
just like I'm in cover that what you're saying right there is just like the stuff that happened with Budweiser, with the gay pride community.
Mm-hmm.
Then this is my thing. I'm straight, but I don't have whatever a person's preference
whatever
is.
You do,
it's fine. I don't have nothing. No, I'm not against nobody. As long as you don't disrespect me, I'm not gonna disrespect you. You don't invade my space, I'm not gonna invade your space. I wish you to be successful, happy, and all that.
La Vista and Chavez to you.
But the problem is, and this goes exactly what you're saying, the corporations are in charge of the power. They're in charge of, you moving up in life. They're in charge of controlling everything, cornering the market on the food prices, the gas prices, just daily living, period. So, you know, by them having that much control, they start really pushing the LGBTQ on trying to force it on kids.
Right.
Is where you draw the line.
Yeah, it ain't about their support. It's about we want more money. And that was the point I was trying to make. The only like impetus for corporations is to make the next dollar. And you know, you've seen that quote about once the last tree is gone, once the last river has dried up, once the last animal is killed, you'll find out you can't eat money. Okay? All they are in the business of is making money. Okay? Now, once you have a significant or a certain part of the population starting to wake up to the fact that we are owned by corporations.
Yeah. And that's
Have you ever seen that? I mean, you got to know George Carlin, right?
Yeah.
All right. Have you ever seen his bit about who really owns America?
No, I ain't never seen his bit. I know you're a good comedian, but I never really watched this.
He sat there and said, you know, they already own all the land. And I mean, all you got to be is homeless out here to know that ain't nobody wants you on their property unless you spend their money.
Right. And then
I'm
glad you said that because I'm finna go deep now.
All right.
This applies to you. So racism exists. Your own race could have something against you.
Bro.
Your own race has something against you. My own race has something against me. Bro. And I'm gonna tell you why. Mm-hmm. This country was stolen and took. Mm-hmm. Daniel Boone, this is a fact. They came to America and took the land from the Indians. Mm-hmm. Now, after they took the land from the Indians, then they went to Africa and got the slaves and we're going to take the land and we're going to get the workers to help me build this land, increase the land. So then after they get power, we only going to help certain people. People that's got power like us. If you ain't really got power, we really don't even, we don't even fuck with you like that.
Yeah, right.
So a lot of people would think, just like right now, you're a Caucasian.
Yep.
And you going through a struggle in your life, just like I done went through struggles in my life, and everyday people go through your life. You're not getting special treatment. The average person would think that, though. That's idiot and stupid.
It is.
They would think that you're getting a special privilege just because of your skin tone.
But at the same time, there's something, people misunderstand or they don't get the idea of white privilege. White privilege is not the fact that you went through hard shit and you may be going through hard shit now, and so that way you're same as anybody else. White privilege is you ain't never been pulled over for no reason and pulled out your car and handcuffed just because you fit a description.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But you're right. It's like, in the time that I've been homeless,
yeah,
I have seen it from every side.
Right. That's why when you're on the show, I want people to hear this because I'm a witness. That you are a Caucasian in America and you do not have special treatment because a lot of black people think that all Caucasians that's ignorant. They think everybody's racist and they think just because you see a person is white, they have all the privileges in the world.
No,
that's not true.
Bro, I'm going to tell you like this. Okay? I have been at a Mapco gas station. And I would stand outside and I would pick their parking lot clean. Like with my hands.
Yeah.
Picking up every single penny, putting it in my pocket. Yeah. Every single cigarette butt, every single piece of trash. and clean it up. And because the parking lot was clean, people kept going there.
Right.
All right. And I would have them, I mean, when I would get approached, I mean, every like third or fourth person, I would say, hey, I'm trying to catch a bus. Can you spare some change?
Yeah.
And I learned quite a bit that you don't ask shit from anybody. Don't say, can you spare some change? That's a question. You say, I'm trying to catch the bus. If you can spare something, that's a statement.
Right.
All right. But the people that worked inside had such a problem with it. And the people that were outside, they would ask me their first question, because I'm a relatively well-dressed white guy who was funny, who was conversational, intelligent, and stuff like that. Their first question was, are you a veteran?
Right.
All right. But if you had Willie, who got no teeth, holding a cup,
right,
asking for change,
they wouldn't even ask.
They wouldn't say, are you a veteran?
Just judging the book by its cover.
Because they're sitting there saying, that's where he's supposed to be.
Right.
That's what we can expect from him.
Right. You don't fit that description.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, and I had somebody come out that night while I was sitting out there.
And the reason why you don't fit that description is because even though you're going through a situation of being homeless, you are fighting to be a better person, and you're not letting it get to you as who you are as a person. You're still keeping your pride. You still got your chest out as a man like you're supposed to. So that's why you're not looking like Willie. Willie with his teeth hanging out and dang, he done gave up on life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know that at some point in your life it's gonna turn around. So that's why you're supposed to look
back
like
to that good shit.
Right.
You know, and I had somebody at that MAPCO come out to me one night. It was a dude, and he came out and he said, that white car right there, this couple just OD'd on fentanyl. The cops are coming. You might want to get out of here. And I was like, oh. And I looked over, and there was a white car there. Had the lights on and everything. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, no, you really need to get out of here. The cops are coming. I was like, okay. And I took my basket and I moved it onto the street. Because once you're on the street, you know, that's public property.
Right.
Can't fuck with you.
Right.
And then I walked back in and got myself a drink. And when I came out, this dude walks out of the MAPCO, goes in that white car, gets in, starts the engine, and drives off. And I was like, oh. And it turns out there was this white girl in there who was like
buying something.
Behind the car. No. She was behind the counter.
Yeah.
She was one of the workers there. And I walked in and I was like, why'd you do that? And she's like, what? I was like, she's like, you're bothering the customers. And I was like, am I bothering the customers or am I bothering you?
Oh, so she lied to you and like somebody
yeah,
was coming, but
she got that motherfucker come out to tell me a story.
Okay, I got you. So you can get out the property, right?
Yeah, and it's like,
and then
come on now.
And that's another thing I say too. If I'm working on a job and somebody is on the property that's homeless, you know, might be hot outside or they're trying to stay cool, whatever the situation, I'm not finna do all that. That's evil. If somebody else want to do that, that's the shit they got to do. It's not hurting me.
So what I'm saying is, there's not a single piece of property in this entire fucking world that ain't owned by somebody.
Right.
And they don't want you on their property unless you pay them money.
Rent, right.
And these motherfuckers will sit there. I have seen it. They will sit there as you are drowning in rainwater, and they will walk over your ass while you are dying because you ain't spending money.
Exactly.
And it don't matter if you're white, black,
brown,
purple,
blue,
green, blue. Yeah, it don't matter.
When you ain't got nothing, the world treats you the same. Mm-hmm. And that's why anytime, that I've been up and down in life before, I understand that. And when I'm doing real, real good, I don't run around people, being kind and happy with everybody like they happy go lucky. Cause I know if I ain't have shit, these motherfuckers wouldn't be cool with me like this. So it's a fake illusion of a friendship, or somebody liking you. That's why I always stay to myself when I'm, up or down in life. Cause most people crowd around you like they all lovey-dovey and cool with you when you're doing good. Soon as you're struggling, you see all the true colors come out.
There's a song by Eric Clapton where, I don't know if he originally did it, but he said, nobody knows you when you're down and out.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah. In your pocket, not one penny. And as for friends, you don't have many. He said, when you get back on your feet again, everybody wants to be your long lost friend. I said it straight, without any doubt. Nobody knows you when you down and out. And it's true.
Right. That's why, I got so many reasons why I don't vote. Then we're going to wrap the show up.
All right.
And one of the main reasons why I don't vote is because we living in a country where right now, if we got real sick and you don't have health insurance, right?
Right.
You can't even get taken care of. You'll basically be out here to die and just get sicker and sicker and sicker.
Bro, talk about dental.
But when you're a politician and you get elected, I found out you get health care for life.
Oh, yeah.
Just because you become an elected politician. All you're doing is getting people to vote for you to speak on something or represent a certain city or certain organization, whatever particular politic role that you're applying for. And you get free health care. But every other person, they don't.
They just ass out.
That's some crazy shit.
Yeah.
So I can't see myself running up to a voter booth just because other people say, hey, how we going to change something? It's a million things that we've been need to change, right? And we've been having millions of people running and voting, and that shit ain't going to change.
It ain't.
So I believe in making change within the small community of people that you
grassroots.
We change together and help each other to grow and get better. But talking about running to the thing where like a particular person can change the whole world because he get behind the seat and he get a position, that's bullshit. It ain't gonna work.
I'm not saying it won't. If you got the right person, it won't work. But for the most part, like I said, they are puppets for the corporations.
So you think you think it's a such thing as getting the right president and helping in the country with totally change?
What I'm saying is you ain't going to get the right president unless they are willing to separate themselves from the corporations and saying, okay, these interests, I mean, they got lobbyists that go in and say, okay, you're sympathetic to this, we're going to do this for you, until you get somebody that's going to say, okay, that may be, but we got global warming. We got, people going hungry on the streets. We got to do something different.
That's another thing why I don't vote. We print unlimited money, right?
I know, right?
They always say inflation. But that's a word made up.
Right.
If you had a machine right now and you could just print all the money that you want, right? That's the thing with it. How is it ever gonna be inflated? That means you're not gonna ever have to worry about struggling. You keep so that's a word that in a theory that's been created.
And the shit ain't worth the
to
paper
bullshit.
Printed on.
So if we living in a country where we print the money, then nobody should be homeless.
Right.
So these motherfuckers don't give a fuck about us.
No, and that's what Harlan was saying.
People forget that people that are living good and not in a situation to be homeless, a lot of people don't remember. They don't keep that in mind. You only think that they give a fuck about you because you got a little money. They don't give a fuck about you either.
Exactly.
Because if you lose the shit you got, they gonna disrespect you just like they disrespect anybody else that lose what they have. So that's a big reason why I wouldn't vote. All this motherfucking money, we pay millions and billions to go over in another country and fight a war.
Because it's oil.
Right. It's a scam for them to get money.
Mm-hmm.
We over here. You got people outside right now with nowhere to go. You could get millions of people.
Look,
apartments.
The money that we spend with the Pentagon and our military budget, it could feed and clothe and house the world. I'm not just talking about America. I'm talking about the world 10 times over. But no, we so worried about, I mean, we already got the best Navy in the world.
Yeah.
Because we're essentially, I mean, aside from Canada and South America, we're an island. You know, we can easily, you know, defend our borders.
Right.
You know, and it's like, why you got to make jets?
And then why we don't have free healthcare?
Right.
They don't even give us that. Just everybody in the world free healthcare. Free health insurance. And other countries got that though. Canada got that.
And do you know that we are only one of like 2 or 3 countries in the world that allow pharmaceutical commercials on TV?
No, like, they don't allow pharmaceutical commercials in other countries?
No. It's like us and Germany or something like that. And we're the only country, aside from that we have, you know, Farsiga and Skyrizi and shit like that. And it's like, you can't stop it. It's ongoing and shit like that, but they won't allow it in other countries.
Yeah, probably because most of all the pharmacy, the medicines got side effects to kill your ass.
Exactly.
It's helping you on one thing, and then they're gonna tell you at the end of the commercial, be prepared for you know, for this to happen bad to you if you take this. Because
destructive diarrhea and shit like that.
Right. Yeah. Most of the illness can be cured with a change of diet and a strict diet over time, a nice amount of time. Because a lot of people forget what you put in your body is what you're going to get out of your body. Right. So if you eating Doritos and Snickers every day and ramen noodles,
ramen noodles like a convict.
You fucked up in the end. Your body is poisoned.
It's over.
But if you eating fruits and vegetables, and then you eat some chips or noodles or something every now and then, you all right. But you got to, that's the key. That's why everybody getting sick now. That's why everybody dying. The diet right now in America is 20 times fucked up than it used to be. Because now, that's another reason why I don't vote. They let all these big time corporations create these fake ass ingredients in labs that's poisonous to us. And they put it in all these foods and they frozen boxes and all that shit, preservatives and all that. And then they sell it to us. And people so lazy and don't want to cook. A lot of people can't cook, so I don't blame them.
Let me ask you this. Have you recently had a piece of chicken that you're like, I've had this piece of chicken before, but I didn't notice these many bones in it?
Yeah, you ever thought different bones?
Yeah, it's like, is this
some
that
of them got
antibiotic
steroids.
shit?
You ever seen this? The chicken look like it's 3-4 times bigger than regular chicken.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They shooting the shit over steroids. It don't even taste the same. Like when you fry it, you eat it. You don't have that regular good chicken taste like if you ate a regular size small wing or drumstick. You know, like how it is. The shit tastes different.
I'm sitting here looking at like.
But you got people like this motherfucker right here, about 400 pounds. We got people like her that would go, you know, to the store and see a wing that's triple the size. And they'll buy it and eat it because it's big and it got more meat on it. Not thinking in your head, man, that shit don't look normal. I know that ain't no regular chicken, you know. But the obesity is so bad.
Oh yeah,
it's fucked up.
Bruh, we could go on all day.
All day. Well, man, we're gonna tune in to another episode the next time. Hope y'all enjoyed the show.
Yes, sir.
You got something to say before we get out of
here? Just, you know. Get your mind right. Think about shit. The shit that you see is only partially what you see. Think about shit. Read your Bible. That's what my girl Angelica used to say. You better read your Bible.
Read your Bible. Get the devil out you. We'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.